There are traditions that say the economical crisis will be such that people will steal, people will become corrupt, and the corruption will not be seen as corruption. People will see corruption as good and the evil as good and good as evil. The indecency will spread. People will not see indecency as wrong. The traditions have mentioned that Tehran and Isfahan will be some of the worst places to be in. There'll be a lot of hypocrites there. Women and men will be indecent. And some of the best places are also in Iran, like Qom and Taliqan and other places. The best of the believers will be there. And the highest number of supporters of the 12th Imam in terms of high-ranking supporters will also come from Qom. Some have mentioned out of the 313, 38 will be from Qom. Some traditions mention that the last king of Hijaz, which is present in Saudi Arabia, will be Abdullah. That will have some sort of agreement or acceptability. But once he dies, there will be a dispute in the royal family on the succession of the king. And this will increase and become bigger and bigger until the 12th Imam comes. There will be simultaneous problems going on in Syria, Iraq, Egypt, Yemen, and some of the other countries. These will not settle until the 12th Imam al-Islam comes. We have seen problems in this world that have increased and that have existed, but we have not seen the political problems that we are seeing today at the same time and during the same period that we are seeing now. There is a tradition that says by Islam, Sato Gharbalun. Gharbal is, when you have flour or something like that, you want to clean it because there are some substances in it which are not part of the grains. So what you do is you move the net so that the good goes through and the remaining stones or other grains remain, are separated. That's called gharbal. So Sikh Islam says that gharbaloon, even you, meaning the Shias, the followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, you will go through a net, meaning you will be tried in belief and many of you will not go through. You see my point? So they will remain and only the purest will go through. So many of them will remain at the top of the net. He says that's not only just once. It will happen again and then again. At each trial, many will fail and remain. So it is not that every follower of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam will go through. Even followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam will fail. A major world war will happen, like the other two world wars have been in Europe. This final world war has been emphasized the most upon, and this will be between Turks and the Europeans and Russia, and then it'll break out to be a world war, like the Second World War started between two countries, and it developed into becoming a war between 76 countries. Likewise, this final world war will start between some European countries and Turkey, and then it will grow to be a world war. The Holy Prophet ﷺ has said in one of the traditions, I think it's in a Sunni book, that the world's population will reach 7. He doesn't say 7 million, 7 what, but in recent years, in 3-4 years back, the world has reached 7 billion. So we're about 7.2 billion in the world, the Muslim, the world population. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ said that the world will reach 7, and every 5 out of those 7 will die before my son comes. 1/3 of the world's population will die in world war, and the other third will die in a plague. Plague is not only that illness, which spreads through the rats and kills people straight away. Today the science believes that anything which is contagious and killers is plague. The war will be on the west of Iraq or Hejaz, and the plague will be on the eastern side, China, India. It will kill 1/3 of the world's population. Now, just in China and India, two countries put together, there are about 2.5 billion people. So that's 1/3 of the world's population. But obviously, if you see the rest of the countries, they make up a lot more. But there will be a plague in that part of the world. It will start off so many times, a pandemic or whatever you want to call it, and people will take precaution, and it will stop. And it will start so many times that people will now stop to believe that there will be an epidemic or a pandemic, that an illness starts off and kills masses, like it has done in the past, in many times, in many centuries in the human history. But the tradition says that the last time it starts, no one will be taking any precaution, and it will kill huge numbers. To say 1/3 of the world's population, 2.5 billion people will die through this illness. The Middle East will remain always to be the center of attention. Iraq, Hejaz, which is present-day Saudi Arabia, which I do not like to use, but Hejaz, Iraq, Palestine, Sham. The word Sham has been used, which is now 4 countries: Palestine, Syria, Jordan, and Lebanon. They will be center of attention. So there'll be a lot of problems. The problems will arise from Sham, which is basically the 4 countries, and many people believe that it is Palestine that has converted into Israel. That will be the center of attention, and then also in Syria, where Sufyan will come from. The economical situation will be one of the worst to be seen on the surface of the earth.
Breaking news here. Stocks all around the world are tanking because of the crisis on Wall Street.
The last couple of weeks have been the most turbulent period for the economy and the financial markets in living memory. And while banks have failed and shares have plummeted, the effects are working their way down to all of us.
There are traditions that many Europeans, the word Spain and Rome have appeared, but I think that they mean Europe. The economical situation in Europe will be such that human beings will be eating other human beings. So there will be, like the people are saying, that it is the worst time since the Great Depression. The situation will be worse than it has ever been. There will be many issues, problems. There will be a change in weather. The global warming, the concept, I'm not sure if that is along the same lines, but the traditions mention there will be winter in summer and summer in winter. You will see a huge change in the climate. There will be many false claims of Mahdaviyyat. Mahdaviyyah is basically Messianism, or anyone who says that I'm Mahdi. There will be many false claims. In fact, some traditions mention how many false claims. And there will be many groups, and there will be many divisions. Small, but there will still be divisions. People who will falsely claim, and people who will foolishly believe. And also people will develop their own ideologies. Many of the people who will claim to be fuqaha, meaning I'm a jurist, I'm mujtahidan, will not be many. In fact, some of the worst people will be the people who will be claiming to be the leaders, religious leaders. So there will be many false claims internationally, that everyone will be claiming that I am a jurist, I'm a jurist, and they'll be some of the worst people on the surface of the earth. Every fitna will start from them, and every fitna will end at them. The most important are the last 6 months before the zuhur of the Imam alayhi salam. The month of Rajab is when the three big personalities reappear. Two are good and one is evil. The two good are Sayyid al-Khurasani. Many traditions mention that he is, our Sunni brothers have not said he's Sayyid, but they've mentioned there is a Khurasani. Most of our traditions mention that he is from the progeny of Imam Hassan alayhi salam, and they've also called him Hassani, Khurasani or Hassani. Hassani is basically Khurasani. Khurasani meaning he'll come from Khurasan, he'll come from Mashhad. He will be a Sayyid, he'll be young, and he'll be, probably his surname will be something like Tabatabai or something. Sufyani is called Sufyani because he's from the progeny of Banu Umayyah or Abu Sufyan. Some say Marwan, but many say Sufyan, Abu Sufyan. He's the evil guy. He'll come from Syria, present-day Syria, around Wadi Yabis. So from close to Homs that you hear a lot in the news, and Halab. And he will take over those cities and then he'll establish it. He is very hard-hearted person. He's evil. His name will be Uthman. His name is Uthman ibn Ambasa, some say. And he will basically give a slogan that Uthman and his followers are the truth. So implying Sufyani is the righteous. His the flag he will show will be red. So many people say ISIS, but ISIS's flag is black, and their dress is also black, and their leader appeared from Iraq. So they are not the final or the last army before which Imam alayhi salam will reappear and fight against in Karbala. They are not the ones. But they are along the same lines. They are evil and they are anti-Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, but they are not the final army that the Imam alayhi salam will fight. Because the final Sufyani leader will be called Uthman and not Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. He'll be Uthman. And they will all appear in the same year, same month, and same day. Many traditions mention the same day. Yamani will be the most righteous, some traditions mention. He will not be a Sayyid, but his name will be unknown to the people. His entire movement will be underground, and his flag will be white. And Khurasani's flag will be black. He'll be Sayyid, and there'll be two major people from Iran at the time, from Khurasan. They will revive a state in Iran. Khurasani, his name has not been mentioned, will be Sayyid Hassani. And Shu'aib bin Saleh will be the army leader, his army.